Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. The fear is back and this time it is more brutal, more personal and more relentless than ever. Today we are breaking down the Strangers chapter 3, the final and most intense chapter in the Strangers trilogy. Directed by Renny Harlin, this film marks the fifth installment in the Strangers franchise and serves as the concluding chapter following chapter 1 and chapter 2, packed with ruthless violence, masked killers, and a fight for survival. The Strangers Chapter 3 is set to hit theaters in the United States on February 6th, courtesy of Lionsgate. So let's dive straight into the Strangers Chapter 3 movie preview video by discussing its positive and negative aspects and whether this final chapter is truly worth your time. In the final chapter of the trilogy, the survivors are pushed to their absolute limits as the masked attackers return deadlier and more merciless than ever. As the danger escalates, long-buried secrets begin to surface, putting every life at risk. At the center of the chaos is Maya, who is forced to confront her past while fighting for survival. As fear and reality blur, the killers return for one last brutal showdown. This chapter attempts to bring the story full circle by revealing more about the masked strangers and their twisted motives with a darker tone than before. The film explores themes of survival, revenge, moral conflict, and deep emotional trauma, setting the stage for a savage finale. Positives of the movie: the Strangers Chapter 3 is clearly designed as the final chapter, and that sense of closure is one of its biggest strengths. The film steadily builds towards an unavoidable and intense final clash between Maya and the masked killers, giving the story weight and purpose. Maya's character arc is a major highlight. She is no longer just a victim running for her life. She is transformed. She is stronger, more confident, and driven by revenge. At times, she even mirrors the killers themselves, including wearing one of their masks. This creates an interesting psychological angle and blurs the line between survivor and predator. Director Renny Harlin brings fast pacing, sharp visuals, and brutal action sequences that elevate the movie above a standard slasher. The film is darker, heavier, and more violent than its previous films, fully embracing its R-rated intensity. The returning cast helps maintain continuity while new characters bring fresh energy. Fans who enjoy lore-driven horror will appreciate the deeper dive into the killer's mythology. The final confrontation feels emotionally charged and purposeful, not just another sequel moment. Overall, Chapter 3 delivers a dream, intense, and satisfying finale that slasher and survivor horror fans are likely to enjoy. Negatives of the movie: that said, the film is not without its flaws. Both Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 received poor critical responses and mixed audience reactions, and unfortunately, Chapter 3 carries some of that baggage forward. The trilogy leans heavily on familiar slasher tropes, long chase scenes, predictable jump scares, and repetitive attack sequences. Instead of reinventing the formula, the film sticks closely to the run and survive structure, which can feel repetitive. One of the biggest missteps is the attempt to explain the killer's motives. What made the original Strangers films terrifying was their mystery and randomness. Expanding the lore and revealing clues too early removes that unsettling ambiguity and weakens the horror. Chapter 2 in particular was criticized for weak storytelling, poor tension, and messy plotting, and that negative legacy makes it difficult for Chapter 3 to fully win back confidence. Even as a finale, the film does not evolve the formula enough and often feels just like another night of survival rather than a bold conclusion. Because the trilogy was shot back to back and released so closely together, the final chapter also feels rushed and oversaturated, especially since the earlier films failed to build strong goodwill. The story itself is fairly average and the narration can feel weak at times, but the direction is solid. The supporting cast delivers strong performances and Maya absolutely stand out, giving a powerful and emotionally driven performance. The cinematography is excellent with impressive locations and moody visuals that enhance the atmosphere. The film clearly aims to provide a proper ending to Maya's journey and finally delivers the long-awaited face-off with the masked killers. If you enjoy classic slasher films filled with intense violence, non-stop tension, and a protagonist who finally fights back, The Strangers Chapter 3 will likely satisfy you. The film prioritizes fast-paced action, brutal moments, and chaos over deep psychological horror. Because of this, viewers who prefer rich character development and complex storytelling may find the execution uneven. Considering the mixed response to the earlier films, Chapter 3 feels more like a reward for fans rather than a genre-defining horror movie. Still, it is thrilling, violent, and emotionally charged enough to be entertaining, especially if you have followed the trilogy from the beginning. Our rating 3 out of 5 stars. The film has received mixed reactions from critics, and this average response may impact its box office performance. The movie is expected to earn around 11 million during its opening weekend. In my opinion, The Strangers Chapter 3 is worth watching, so catch it in theaters near you starting 6th February. If you love masked killers, brutal slasher action, and revenge-driven survival stories, this final chapter looks like it is going to deliver. And that's a wrap on the Strangers Chapter 3 movie preview video. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, share it with your friends, drop a comment below, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to use the thanks option. Your support really means everything to us. Until next time, take care, stay safe, stay youthful, and keep watching. And remember, The Strangers Chapter 3 is coming to tear you apart and show you what they can really do.